Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Victoria man in trouble with the law accused of assaulting an elderly person. A Victoria businessman appointed by Governor Abbott to a statewide school funding board. Around 110 million people right now under heat alerts across the U.S.
And it was a nice break for us with Harold bringing us clouds and rain, but that's over with, folks. So look at these temperatures. We're going back up into the hundreds and the humidity will be in the millions. We'll be talking about that coming up.
Man in Dallas opened fire on 2 men trying to break into his apartment. They were posing as maintenance workers. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm James Munoz. Karina Garcia has the day off. This afternoon, just before 2 o'clock, local authorities responded to Victoria East High School. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office says authorities were responding to threats made by telephone. The call was a hoax. The Victoria ISD reported there was no threat to anyone or to the campus, but out of an abundance of caution, law enforcement was on campus.
Victoria 911 received a call of a possible suspect on campus that supposedly had a rifle and a pipe bomb with him. A little bit of investigation into it. This appears to be a number that's been used before. It's kind of a spoof number. Several months ago, as well as in possibly today in another county. I visited with the Texas Rangers as well, and they're going to kind of somewhat assist with this investigation.
Authorities say all students and staff are safe. The school resumed normal dismissal at 2:50 p.m. Monday around 10:20 p.m. Victoria police arrested 37-year-old Angel Martinez on charges of assault. He's accused of assaulting a 74-year-old man in the 3000 block of East Red River Street. Police say Martinez also had an outstanding warrant for possession of drug paraphernalia. Police in Pittsburgh were met with gunfire today as they tried to serve an eviction notice in a neighborhood. The suspect apparently opened fire with a military-style long rifle as deputies knocked on the door of a house. One deputy was hurt when he fell down, escaping gunfire. Since the initial contact, hundreds of shots were fired. 2 police drones were shot down. Officers have shut down several blocks around that area and are working to evacuate nearby homes. At this time, at last report, the suspect was still barricaded. The Weather Prediction Center is warning about a searing August heat wave from Texas to South Dakota, all the way to West Virginia and Florida. About 110 million people are under heat alerts. In the southeast, temperatures will soar into the low 100s through Friday. Along with the brutal humidity, heat indexes could reach up to 120 degrees. Chicago and Indianapolis could also reach 100 degrees this week. That hasn't happened for both cities since 2012. So when is the next hope of a cool down for us? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Mac Bettis. Mac?
Yes, James, I'm thinking like October maybe with a little luck. But no, it's kind of on the opposite of that. We're going back into the heat, and now we have the humidity to deal with. Right about now, we're at 97 degrees. Of course, it feels like 101. Now that Harold has given us the moisture, which we needed, now we're going to be wearing the moisture. So we'll be talking about that and your weekend forecast coming up.
And we poke fun, but we know it's a serious issue. Here's a look. Heat-related illnesses are on the rise in Dallas. At Dallas's Parkland Health's emergency room, this year's visits are nearly 6 times what they were last year. With the summer heat dragging on, the experts are warning people who go outdoors or work outdoors that liquid should be kept within arm's reach. The consequences of heat exposure can be severe. There is consistent traffic in and out of the ER, and exposure to extreme heat is often to blame. A man in Dallas fired more than 12 rounds through his apartment door after 2 people tried to break in. The suspects were seen on camera posing as maintenance workers.
Watch this video closely. A man who says he's a maintenance worker waits for a tenant to answer the door.
Can I help you? Oh yes, they came to check your air filters. I'm not sure. This is 38277.
Through his doorbell camera, the young man inside, Ethan Rodriguez, tells the supposed worker to leave, says nobody's home, even though he is.
You'll have to wait till another day. Much appreciated.
The guy leaves, and when he comes back, he brings a gun and a friend. It doesn't take long for these two guys to learn. Ethan Rodriguez was home after all.
I was hoping I got him. That's mainly everything. I was just hoping I got him.
Rodriguez told me Monday he knew in his gut the guy at the door wasn't a legit maintenance man.
But he was playing the part. He had the whole notepad and everything.
Said he had no choice but to shoot at him once he saw the guy had a gun and was coming straight for him.
They told me I let off 13 shots. I couldn't believe it. But then again, I did empty the clip.
The suspects, according to police, shot back at Rodriguez before they ran. This video that captured all of it, it's now viral. Rodriguez told me he's got no idea who these guys are or what they wanted from him, but said if they're watching...
You're dumb as for not wearing a mask, because I even got your name. Ever since the video's been public, I got a name and everything. I'm just waiting on the detective to call me. I'm wondering why the hell he's trying to get in my house.
In Dallas, I'm Sydney Persing.
A scary situation there. Police say an elementary school student fired a gun into the back of a seat of a school bus. This happened in Seguin, 35 minutes east of San Antonio. The bus pulled into an elementary school. The gun was taken away and the student was taken off campus. Police say the student won't face charges, but the parents could. The district is providing counseling to students and their families. The superintendent is pleading with parents to keep those guns locked away. Rudy Giuliani has surrendered to authorities in Georgia to face an indictment claiming he acted as former President Trump's chief co-conspirator in a plot to subvert the 2020 election. The former New York City mayor is charged with Trump and 17 other people under Georgia's Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. Giuliani is accused of spearheading Trump's efforts to compel state lawmakers in Georgia and other closely contested states to ignore the will of voters and illegally appoint electoral college electors favorable to Trump. The lineup for the first Republican presidential debate of 2024 campaign is set in Milwaukee. Republican presidential candidates will debate on the national stage without party frontrunner former President Trump. All 8 candidates met the Republican National Committee's criteria for the debate, including former Vice President Mike Pence and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code right there on your screen to vote now. Do you plan on watching the first 2024 Republican primary debate tonight? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. We'll have an update on what you and your neighbors are saying on 25 News Now at 6. A Victoria businessman is the latest addition to a statewide school funding board. Governor Abbott appointed Cliff Thomas to the Permanent School Fund Corporation Board of Directors. The board manages the investment of the multi-billion-dollar fund, a major source of support for Texas public schools. Thomas is the owner and chairman of the board of Pilot Thomas Logistics and founder of Speedy Stop Food Stores and CL Thomas Incorporated. Come to crossroadstoday.com to learn more about this appointment. Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca Wave. Former Calhoun County Judge Michael Pfeiffer died from cancer Monday. He served as judge from 2002 to 2018. The Calhoun County ISD Board of Trustees approved the extension of the superintendent's contract during a meeting August 14th, and a Port Lavaca clinic received a certificate of excellence after an inspection. Read these stories at theportlavacawave.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, a private jet traveling to St. Petersburg has crashed in Russia, killing all 10 passengers on board. Also, India becomes the 4th country to land their spacecraft on the moon. jet crashed in Russia, killing all 10 people on board. Mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin was on the passenger list. A Wagner-linked social media page announced he was killed in the crash. His fate was the subject of intense speculation ever since he mounted a short-lived mutiny against Russia's military leadership in late June. The Kremlin said the founder of the Wagner private military company would be exiled to Belarus. But the mercenary chief had popped up in Russia, leading to further questions about his future. A growing number of experts say high-risk individuals need to mask up right now. The experts are warning them and their caretakers to take precautions in crowds amid a recent uptick of COVID-19 hospitalizations. The CDC doesn't have a broad policy about adopting masks. The agency does recommend universal masking where the virus is at high level. About 85 counties were in the medium threshold for reporting COVID-19 cases, with a quarter of those in Florida. The temperature continues to soar this summer. The warning is out as coaches and student athletes prepare for the upcoming football season.
As the temperature rises, so does the danger, especially for young athletes training outside for the upcoming season.
These are potential life-threatening illnesses that, if aren't treated appropriately, can lead to catastrophic dangers.
Heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke can all strike when it's hot out. That's why everyone, from coaches to parents and athletes, needs to be aware of the danger signs, says Dr. Anna Chabra with Mayo Clinic.
People get disoriented, people get dizzy and have weakness, unusual behavior, headaches, vomiting, and so those are some of the signs you see.
Chabra says to also avoid scheduling practices and workouts when it's hottest out. Make sure everyone stays well hydrated before, during, and after practice. Use electrolytes to help rehydrate, but avoid caffeine, alcohol, and sugary drinks that can cause dehydration. Wear lightweight, loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. Have shade and cooling stations, and take it slow.
We want to increase intensity and duration of athletic activities over the course of 7 to 10 days. And that's really important for your bodies to get used to the heat.
Chabra says many times people don't think they need to stretch and warm up when it's hot out, but he says that's how players can get hurt.
So I don't think the weather should change your warm-up routine. So that's something that's completely separate to try to protect our athletes.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
India has landed its Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft on the moon, becoming the fourth nation to accomplish such a feat. Until now, only the U.S., China, and the former Soviet Union had completed the mission. The landing is closer to the moon's south pole than any other spacecraft has gone. A significant location because it's believed to have water ice deposits that could be converted into rocket fuel or even drinking water for future crewed missions. The country's prime minister called the mission a success shared by all of humanity.
मेरे प्यारे परिवारजनों,
When we see such historic moments with our own eyes, it makes us very proud. This is the dawn of new India.
NASA congratulated the Indian Space Research Organization on this historic achievement. Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. The Cuero City Council approved a new tax rate. Texas A&M is honoring Cuero philanthropists Dr. Phyllis and Steve Canyon, and Dave Shabazz is the new publisher of the Cuero Record and the Yorktown News View. Read these stories and more at DeWittCountyToday.com.
And good afternoon, everybody. We have a few little pop-up showers over there where Harold left a lot more humidity, but you probably saw the pretty clouds that we had out there. Unfortunately, the break was that long. We're going to be back to the heat and humidity for the foreseeable future, actually maybe till the end of the month. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a moment. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We managed to get up to 98 degrees today. Yeah, we're getting back to the hundreds. And now with the addition of humidity, we're really going to be wearing the air there. It was nice break, but it is long gone. I mean, the rainfall total from the whole Herald thing was 3/10, and that brings our season, or rather our year, up to 20 inches and 24 hundredths. That's since January, and that's a good 5.3 below where we're supposed to be. But then you remember that real intense period. I think it was April where we got a lot of rain, lot of rain, lot of rain. Well, that was good. It helped, but then the rest of the summer has been absolutely bone dry. So now we're wearing the heat and the humidity because it's going to be so humid over the next few days. You can see how, generally speaking, whatever potential we had for little pop-up thunder showers were decreased as the pressures now start to rising. The leftovers of Harold are right about here along the Rio Grande. You know, somebody got the rain, the good rain, the big heavy rain, but we didn't. So it looks like it's the Rio Grande and much of the Frio and the Nueces that got much needed rainfall. These are the observed highs for today. You can see 95 in Lavaca, 98 in Victoria, 102 in Gonzales, and now it's only going to get worse. You can see how the cloud cover and the humidity sort of helped out the southwest of the state, but everybody else continues with the ridiculous temperatures that we've had to deal with this entire summer. Well, now we do have, pardon me, a heat advisory is up for today, and of course they'll be up again for tomorrow, and then the day after that, and the day after that. Now, as James was mentioning, while most of Texas has been suffering the heat wave of 23, today it's pretty much the whole country. Look at that. From Minneapolis all the way down to New Orleans, everybody else is dealing with the intense heat now. And I'll just say this, you know, we've been through hot weather, but these people are not used to it. So there's going to be all kinds of problems up there with health problems, what I'm getting to. So we'll watch and wait for that. But Chicago is definitely in the heat wave, and so is Omaha and all the way up to Minneapolis. So yeah, it hasn't changed much. Now here's Franklin. Franklin is a big problem for the Dominican Republic. It is right on top of it, and right now it's causing hurricane conditions. But Franklin is then going to move to the north. We also have GERT, G-E-R-T. That's also moving north, and the one behind that also moving north. So they're not anything that we need to worry about. The Dome of Doom is now back in control, and while we got a nice break, you probably remember that this thing, or Harold, sort of snuck under it and came ashore and gave us that rain. Well, now the dome is going to be dropping southward, and so that's not good. The temperatures go back up into the low 100s. Tomorrow, it'll be 100 along the coast in Port Lavaca, and then in Cuero, it's going to be warmer than that, looking for 102. And for the next 7 days, here's your forecast, getting up to 102, 101, staying into triple digits. These 20 and 30% little garden variety showers possible in the late afternoon because of the heat and the humidity. So I don't think they'll cool you down. Hopefully we'll catch some, at least for some cloud cover. That's your 7-day forecast. Reminding everybody that we do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put it on your cell phone. James, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, Mac, thank you so much. Coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at Wall Street. Plus, FEMA leaders say the agency's disaster fund is running out. The Dow up 185 points, the S&P 500 up 49 points, and the Nasdaq up 216 points. Oil down 75 cents, closing at $78.89 a barrel. FEMA's administrator says the agency's disaster fund is running out of money amid growing concern the funding could lapse if Congress doesn't pass a spending bill. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says he expects Congress will approve more funding for FEMA. This comes as the agency pushes forward with the response to Maui's wildfires in a year that's setting records for expensive weather disasters before the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, and as hurricane and tropical storm activity is already causing damage. The federal government is doling out millions of dollars to tackle near collisions at American airports. 8 airports will receive $121 million to pay for construction projects. This is on top of the $100 million granted to several other airports 3 months ago. The FAA says one project includes simplifying the layout of an international airport where a collision was narrowly avoided. One leader says sometimes the best way to address safety risks is reconfiguring existing airfields. Stay with us straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. Mac Bettis in with a final check of your forecast. Also, a woman saw a spear crash through her windshield while she was driving. Here's a look now at what's coming up on World News Tonight right after 25 News now at 5.
Coming up tonight, thousands without power, highways underwater, a storm slamming into the U.S. The deadly bus accident on the first day of school. Tragedy for an NFL star, his father killed in a house explosion, and the harrowing rescue trapped in a cable car hundreds of feet up next.
After a spear crashed through her windshield while she was driving. It happened in San Antonio late Sunday night. The spear crashed through Shavoni Canales' windshield after 9 as she was on her way home, or rather to a friend's home. She recorded video as San Antonio police came to collect it, a 5-foot-long hunting tool. Officers have not found the person who threw the spear. Yuck. That's scary. Someone could have got hurt or killed.
You bet.
For more information on that tropical storm Harold yesterday, 25 News Now morning anchor and meteorologist Parker Cox has a story on crossroadstoday.com about the storm's impact on Padre Island and Corpus Christi. Don't forget to follow Parker on Human Barometer with a 0 on Twitter.
How do you spell that? Human
Human Barometer, but with a 0. And it's barometer is how you spell it.
Barometer.
He taught me that. Sharp young man.
You'll be seeing him soon enough. Right now, we're hiding him.
Right now, it's your turn. Go.
Okay. For tomorrow, yes, we're back to the hundreds, folks, as the heat and the humidity are coming back. That little 20% chance that you have there in the afternoon, it's nothing to write home about. It looks better on the graphic there than it will be in reality, but there will be a few isolated pop-ups in the afternoon hours as we head on into the weekend, but we will be wearing the air over the next couple days.
That one looks bad, hot.
Yeah.
All right, Mac, thank you so much. Thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.